and it's
Woo!
it's connecting. It's up.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome, everybody. You are now tuned into a Planetary HQ emergency broadcast. My name is Dedrick Baker, XD Bake the Wise. All my socials are in the description. Hanging out with my brother Tay Chilla. All his socials will be in the description. And we are talking about the California wildfires and how UFOs, UAPs have been seen flying through the smoke. You know, the same topic we love talking about. And also how Donald Trump speaks on the drone situation. This mysterious, I don't want to say it, but anti-gravitic, it seems like drones flying over New Jersey for the past couple of weeks. Everybody wants to know what the heck these things are. Donald Trump makes a declaration that he's going to speak on the subject. So we're interested in what he has to say. We're interested in the entire subject, period. Obviously, if you haven't seen our other videos, you can watch all of them. We are constantly trying to give you guys the truth pertaining to the current situation on planet Earth. So thank you for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed, if you're a new viewer, then hit that subscribe button. You know, act like it's a Palladian beam ship and the door just opened. And when the door opens and that little beep, the little tractor floor goes down and touches the ground, and you're by yourself, you're looking left and right, and you're like, should I go? Should I go? Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. And you start walking towards it, and you put your foot on it, and you go into the ship. Pretend that ship is that subscribe button, and make sure you slam on that. So, you got any precursors to say anything, Taychula?
What's up, everyone? I got a little bit of a cold, a little bit of a stuffy nose, but we know there's some suffering going on in California, and there's also some goddamn UFOs. So we're gonna try to have fun and just watch some videos here, get some banter going. So
Yeah.
we got a new.
Why are the UFOs always involved every time? It's like we've been talking about this on the channel for a long time, and then all of a sudden they start showing up. Obviously, it's connected to the congressional hearing a couple months back, a month and a half back. Um, Same theory, same exact theory, is that the space brothers, the extraterrestrials, they can't reveal themselves directly because that would be altering our evolution and that would be breaking the free will law. So there's like a cosmic law that pretty much the species of a higher evolution can't interfere with the evolution of a species of a lower evolutionary development. So that means they can't just show up at your door and shake your hand. They could. They have the technology, they have the craft to. We'll show you some footage right now. They can do that if they wanted to, but they won't because that's breaking cosmic law. So, in order to not break our free will, in order to not break our evolutionary development directly by showing up, they can show up as lights in the sky. When people start looking up at these lights in the sky, let's imagine only 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 people see it at first. That's not the majority of the human social consciousness. That's a small portion. It's only 20 people seeing it. So that would mean that the majority of human consciousness at that time is not ready. They're not asking the question to see these lights in the sky. Only about 20 people are seeing it. But the lights keep showing up. And over time, over thousands of years, I mean, look at the Nuremberg painting. We can bring that up later. Over thousands of years, more than 20, now it's 1,000 people. Now it's 100,000. Now it's a million people. So the percentage of the social mass consciousness about the subject and the will to figure out what these things are in the sky starts raising, starts going up. Once it hits a tipping point, once I'd say over 50% of the mass public desires to want to know what these things are floating in our airspace, that's when they can actually reveal themselves because they're not breaking our free will. we now desire, we want to interact with them. So I believe that's what's been happening ever since the congressional hearing, which marked a major point in our social consciousness and social evolution. Not only did the public start asking questions, but Congress started asking questions, and Congress was wondering why the Pentagon was lying to them, why a subordinate part of the government is hiding evidence of extraterrestrial craft from Congress, one of the highest bodies of in our universe, in our government currently. Congress has, and the House of Representatives, they have the ability to impeach the president. They can take the president out if they want. So this is one of the highest bodies in our United States government. And the military, the Pentagon, is hiding evidence from them. So everybody wants to know what's going on. And the congressional hearing shows you that this doesn't just permeate society, it is also starting to get the attention of elected officials in Congress and the House of Representatives. Ever since that happened, I believe that marks a point in social consciousness which allows them to start revealing themselves further. Um, these could be perceived as interdimensional beings, glowing balls of light, etc., etc. We can talk about that more. But for some reason, it seems like these mysterious drones, some people float around nuclear detector drones over New Jersey. Um, these nuclear detector drones possibly could be being used to monitor and observe the actual space brothers coming in. Because they are set up for nuclear detector gamma ray radiation detection, possibly they could be used to monitor the celestial entities who also give off gamma radiation. You get what I'm saying? And this is probably our deep state tech that we're finally getting seen rolled out into the public, a la TR3B. So I know I'm giving a huge monologue right now. I'm just trying to preface it so that you guys kind of understand the landscape that we're looking at the moment. A lot's going on. It's coming at us fast. California, my home state, it's burning right now. I can't believe it. All these places that are burnt down to the ground. I used to drive up and down there all day long, running amok, doing dumb things, but I was out there and now it's down to the ground. It's kind of crazy. Um, so I guess we'll pull up some videos right now. Um, if you are just tuning in right now, welcome, welcome. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Planetary Headquarters, the... Oh shit, sorry, I'm looking at my shit. The Planetary Headquarters, the headquarters for all your celestial information. Sorry, I'm getting my videos together right now and they're not in line. I got it
Yeah,
right.
you're good. And D-Vic, do you have the chat up? We have Captain Kirk. I think he's criticizing something you said. I kind of missed it though. He said you have to remember China plus India is close to 3 billion people. We are 335 million. Big difference. Half the people is a long way off. Did you say half the
Okay.
people?
Well, I mean, I was giving a metaphorical concept to paint a picture in your mind, but um, thank you for the correction. I appreciate that. Um, what's up, Captain Kirk? Nice to see you, brother. But yeah, want to pull up some bids? Let's pull up some
Yeah,
bids.
yeah. What's up? What's up? I got the Trump video here as well. But you got a couple lined up, so share your screen, boss.
Yeah, I got you right now.
Yeah, and I was wondering, like, is the New Jersey drones thing dying off? Like, are we getting less reports, or is it just like become normalized and people in New Jersey are still seeing a bunch of stuff? And I don't know. I saw one TikTok that I could probably pull up that this lady was basically commenting on exactly that. She's like, "Look, this looks kind of like a plane, but it keeps circling, like it keeps doing these tracks. It's a lot smaller, and you have to just come to New Jersey to see it. It's still happening. There's still, and that was a fixed wing drone example that she was filming and pointing out. But yeah, someone from Park Ridge, New Jersey, just pointing out like, hey, it's still going on. You know, whether you're paying attention or not. Um,
Yeah, and the representative of Tennessee, where I live currently right now, he gave a statement saying that, and he had live streams up that he's been monitoring himself, and he says the drone activity is actually ramping up, and he is not understanding why it's not getting covered right now. So that's an interesting point. Um, so here is the first video showing some of the UAP activity. I don't know what's going on there. That music is crazy. Turn that down. Can you hear that? Can you
they're
hear
like UFOs in the fire. Let's put this track on it in the back. Jimmy Levy.
that? Okay, see, so you see it playing right now.
Oh man, you got that low
See that?
res.
See that? I don't know. I have to like refresh it every time. But you see this little object
Okay, yep, I
going
see it.
down, then going back up towards the bottom. Let's check it out again. From the right part of the screen at the bottom, right above the tree line. Boom. It's a weird white shape, and it's leaving a trail of a wake behind it. It's a glowing object. Kind of reminds me of the Tic Tac that David Fravor saw. It almost looks like a traditional flying saucer. Um, I don't know. I saw the wildfires. I mean, it happens all the time in California. So I'm like, okay, that's normal. No big deal. They're gonna figure it out. And then I turn on my phone, I was about to say my TV. I don't watch TV, my phone, and I see UFOs flying through the smoke. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Even in the wildfires, you can't get away from it today. It's just everywhere. So watch that one more time. See that object flying in an interesting trajectory, and it looks specific. It's a glowing white disc or tic tac shaped object leaving a wake behind it, a trail. Okay, so that's number one. I'll stop streaming right now for a second. Let me pull up number two real quick. Um,
Yeah, I haven't looked yet for the to find the best quality video of that. I'm sure there's a
there's
live
probably
stream
better.
online of whatever TV show news that was.
So here we are on Reddit.
See if you can you full screen it or like there.
Is that better?
Yeah, yeah, that worked.
So check this out. This is from a beach cam off Los Angeles. And you'll notice literally the exact same object coming out of the water, exiting the water, and then flying near the fires. Check this out. See, it just came out
Oh,
on the left side
do
of
you
the
think
screen.
is this kind of looks like? Do you think this is the same like angle, sort of like are we looking at the fire, like, or maybe it's too hard to tell? But I will say the smoke, the sort of smoke trail, like as it travels through the sky.
Right?
Look how
It's very,
wily that thing is, though. It's like,
right, and it's going crazy like it's
yeah, yeah,
intelligent, flying everywhere. And that it looks exactly the same as the other video, right?
it
It's the
does.
same object. It's the same object, dude. Same trail, same signature, icy white. And UFOs are known to be USOs too, unidentified submerged objects. I'll replay that right there. See how it comes out of the ocean on the left side? Boom. And straight up acting all weird. Acting like a UFO would. Is that not the same object? That's the exact same object.
Well, obviously,
If if you
the video
if I
is
was a
not
bet man, I'd bet
super
money
high
on it.
res, but like it looks the same. It's like it's slightly white, it's round, and then as it moves, you can see this sort of trail. Now, I'm assuming that trail is a mix of the smoke and I don't know, those trails might have to do with the frame rate thing as well.
Probably the
With
camera,
because this
yeah.
camera is like it looks like a stationary. It doesn't look like an iPhone. It looks like it might be a stationary thing, unless it's on, unless it's on a tripod and it is someone's phone or something. But no, that's a solid correlation between those two clips. It looks like the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
You think
Exactly what I'm
the
saying.
teenagers in the undersea bases are like they were told like, look guys, disclosures on the table for 2025. We still have to wait for the governments to do their thing. We can't go all out, but I will for Timmy's 13th birthday. I'll let you fly the
Around the
Ranger out,
moons.
and but you can only go out during the fire because everything's gonna be crazy and no one's gonna believe what they see in anyway. So
Exactly. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Some Palladian teenagers, some Arcturian juveniles going on a joyride in Daddy's Space Ranger. Or, hot take, did the UFO start the wildfires? Ooh, damn.
yeah, but that's a very human thing to do, to like to blame aliens for our civilization that is
Yeah,
more
I actually
likely.
saw a
So
video of some neighborhood. They found a guy with a blowtorch starting fires in LA, and they like wrestled him to the ground and called the police. So I don't have that video right now. You can go look it up if you're watching. But yeah, that's I don't know. People are crazy. People are wild. But huh, the plot thickens. I'm
oh
trying to get away from it, man. I'm trying not to think of the UFOs because the UFOs are everywhere and they're showing up everywhere, dude. Um, you
yeah.
said you have some cool hoodie or what?
I have a couple clips that I could probably pull out of my saved Reddit and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Captain Kirk says there was a UAP pretty similar to years ago during a tidal wave from an earthquake off the coast of Thailand. So
Mm,
I wonder. I'll see if that's easy to just kind of find here. So
I got
UFO
something.
off the coast of Thailand.
I got something riffing off that last video we just watched. How that UFO came out of the water. Check this out. So this is an interesting video. Let me scroll through it. You seen this video?
Ooh, I don't know about this one.
What at first appears to be this luminous object under the ocean floor startles the onlookers a few feet away from their boat.
Speaking Spanish.
In hopes of trying to figure out, they're looking at it extremely confused because they're noticing some strange anomalies under the ocean. The two fishermen are completely baffled, but check this out.
Look at this. Look at this. Check this out.
This is a different video.
No, same video. It's like flowing. It's like going around, and then watch what they see. They see like a humanoid figure in it.
Oh,
Look at that. That's weird, huh?
yeah. This is an Aquaman ad.
I don't know. Cryptid sighting. So UFOs and cryptids collide. Um, I thought that was a great video. Um, I've never figured out what it is. I think that's I don't know. It's just jarring if it's real. It's a light under the water. Humanoid figure pops up. What would you do? Be like, oh my god. The Anunnaki, the Dogon tribe, talk about the water people, the people from Sirius that are half fish, half humanoid. We talked about that in the Flower of Life episode that is dropping soon, so stay tuned. Again, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you are up to date with all the celestial information. Um, we do actually have shirts now live. The link is in the description. It is literally just the legacy name all across your chest. We have a couple different ones too. We have UFOs. Shirts cost us about only $21 to make. We're asking for $30 for the shirt, and we're only making $9 off of it. That helps keep the message getting spread. So it helps us. You're contributing to a great cause, but it's a total 360 win because you also get some dank drip. So everybody wins. You help support us, and you also get a sick shirt. So go check out the link in the description. We got the legacy shirts now live. Back to the USOs that I was talking about. I actually do have another video already pulled up.
And we
Unless you
got
got something.
no. Well, I wanted to remind you to show the Trump's latest comment on these UAP.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. You got it? You gonna share screen it?
Oh, I thought you had it up. I can pull it up.
I got it actually. I can share screen it. You got it? You want me to get it?
Oh, go ahead. I thought you were gonna go for it.
Cool, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Cha. Thanks for tuning in, whoever is tuned in at the moment. So I'm sure you guys were tuned in for the our New Jersey drone analysis. If you weren't, go check that out. We were wondering exactly what was going on with it. Probably the hottest news right now that's not getting covered for some weird reason. We talk about that. Is it just going to fade into the distance, or is it going to actually get addressed by the government? What's going on with these crafts? We do not understand technology that can loiter or hover in the air for that long. So what's propelling? What type of propulsion is this using? The Green Berets cyber truck attack, talking about anti-grav, and the drones are using anti-grav. We first hypothesized this before all this stuff. We figured it was anti-grav just by the looks of it. But now Trump, the president of the United States, is talking about it. And he is not yet in the White House. He's still waiting for Biden to pack his shit up and leave. So this is right before he's getting into the House. So he has some comments on the drone situation.
I said then Canada should be a 51st state.
A story
That's where we are now.
A story that kind of disappeared very suddenly. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you had said that you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know. They're over Bedminster a lot. So
what happened?
I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about it?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
Is it dangerous?
Well, I can tell you this. While we were dealing with a terrorist attack in New Orleans, we had drones being thrown over our nuclear reactors in Louisiana. And we brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones, and it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And that's real.
Nobody knows. They don't want to talk about it. Go ahead, Governor. You were saying.
I was just going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as well. And it's incredibly frustrating that we not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with them.
They don't want to talk about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending drones. I hope that's the case, us doing it and doing research, and maybe they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. I hope it's not an enemy, but we're going to find out on the 21st, the day after. You have to give me a little time for the inauguration, but shortly thereafter we'll give you a report on it. We'll tell you exactly what it is. They know And it's very strange that they aren't talking about it.
Yeah, that's pretty sick that he's saying that.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
he's kind of backing up his first stance, when he said, like, look, they know. Now, it does sound like he's awaiting the brief, the full brief when he's in office and he can ask the questions to, all the military people, all the intelligence crew, and he's going to be like, "Look, tell me what we know." But the question is, when they tell him, what will he tell us then? Because it sounds like he hasn't got that briefing yet. But he obviously, from being the president before, he's like, our satellite systems are top notch. Like, you have no idea what we can do with those. I've seen,
Oh yeah,
I'm
he
sure he's
knows we
seen all
know.
that. So
Yeah.
he knows that we know, like, so much more than they're willing to talk about at the Pentagon and the White House currently. But I still wonder, like, what will he actually say once he gets the briefing? Because here's the thing. What if the military tell him, yeah, we classify these as UAP and that's why we're not willing to say anything about it? What if they say that? Would the president then go and make that announcement?
Yeah, right. It's up to him. That's hopefully Trump is the guy to do it. Hold it down for a second. I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
All right, D-Bake's on pause. It's me going solo. We're going wild. Um, all right, I'm gonna look at the chat, see what's going on. Okay, Cap Kirk, you got that Japan earthquake. Okay, let's try and pull this up. We got a UFO and a tsunami. Yeah, I think I got it here. Let me just turn. I don't know if we need audio for this, but I'll maybe turn it on here. All right. Strange object coming out of the sea. Somebody in the comments has to have timestamped this. 47 seconds. Okay. We missed it. We'll go back to 47 seconds. Okay, I'm looking to the left. Oh, there. Look at that. You see it? Oh, I'm not sharing my screen for you. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't see nothing.
Okay. There you go, D-Bake. Okay, so. All right. Dedrick, you see my screen? You watching this? Because Captain Kirk dropped a banger for us. This thing does look like those other two videos that you showed us.
Yeah. Oh, let me watch it.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn down my gain a little bit. I guess get a lot of room noise right now.
I did notice
Adjust
that
my
a bit.
vocals.
Yeah, go ahead and talk for a little bit. I need to set your level again.
I just lowered it right now. Tell me how that sounds.
Sounds
Hopefully
good
I
for
can fix
me.
it.
I feel like that won't change. It might. I don't know how it'll change the room noise. Oh, the Discord audio. I feel like that won't change. It might. I don't know how. I might have had your levels too low for a little bit. I thought I fixed that though. Go ahead and talk. So,
Sorry, I was listening to it. That's why I was muted. But I'm talking right now. What's up, everybody who's tuned in? Sorry about the technical difficulties. Wouldn't be a live stream if we didn't have any. Everything sound good or look
cool.
good on your end?
We good. Let's see here. I'll boost my audio a little bit, and then we will try and get back to this video. Okay, you watch my stream?
Yeah, it sounds a lot better. All right.
All right, so you're looking over here at the ocean.
Yeah, I see it. Oh,
Yep.
No way.
Now it's going across the land, and still there. Okay, and then it's out of the shot. So let's go back here.
Interesting.
Now,
Looks
I really
very similar.
Wow, I wonder how hard it would be to try and like locate the original like
Oh, that
live
looks
stream,
very
because a
similar.
lot of these news live streams get they're on the internet, but you know, these news stations stream like 24 hours a day, so you got to like find the day of the stream, see if it's still up on the internet, because they don't always host everything indefinitely.
Yeah. That's crazy. It looks very similar. Looks very similar. If not the exact same.
Well, I mean, here, you know, my only quandary with this is that from what I could tell, the object is white. It looks somewhat circular, and as it travels, it kind of has this like contrail. Now, I wonder if that would be like, if it's coming out of the sea, maybe that's like the water, you know, coming off of it. But it definitely matches the same MO.
Yeah. I think thank you for Captain Kirk for that good connection. And also people say that the UFOs show up around earthquakes. They call them earthquake lights, you know. They showed up around the nuclear testing. So it seems like, you know, the student visitors from the Uranta book, it seems like there are beings here that are watching us. I'm actually on a full quote right now. So take it for a second.
Yeah, for sure. So we got this is maybe a side tangent that we could talk about some of this stuff, but Otto in the chat, what is up, Otto? Thanks for being here. Points out that there is a bigger story attached to the UAP phenomenon: free energy, anti-gravity technology, universe-ending weapons. So yeah, we totally agree. We should pull up another quote about that where basically it's like, okay, in the span of civilization, there's sort of two things that's happening. We are controlling our material environment and building society that can support a lot of like living population, you know, make the food chain industrial, support modern society, all this stuff that grows, you know, the population density, cities, all that going on. But then there's also the spiritual evolution of mankind, which, you know, which is what we focus on mostly on this YouTube channel. That's why it's called the Legacy Foundation for Human Progress. Because we think both those things are essential. Now, here's the catch-22 about material growth and spiritual growth, is that they are not always progressing at an equal level. And specifically on our planet, there may be a bunch of reasons why we are behind in the spiritual sector, you could say. So what that means is that the modern day materialism has created technologies and weapons of mass destruction, but we don't really have a universal sense of morality to not use those weapons, against each other. And that's truly, in my opinion, that's what it takes to actually get to the sort of world peace that everyone wants and talks about. World peace is not won by one country dominating all the rest. It's won by, what we would call the brotherhood of mankind, the sisterhood of mankind, the family of mankind, having some sort of like inherent, maybe not inherent, because it is something that evolves. The culture evolves, and the cultures have to sort of go united across many nations. And the perspective that we're trying to give on this channel is that by looking up at the stars, and seeing and talking about these concepts of cosmic philosophy, extraterrestrial civilizations, angelic beings, we hope that this actually causes us then to look back down on Earth and, work better with our fellow humans here on the planet. um, and yeah, that's what, in the spiritual sense, Jesus called this the kingdom of heaven. Literally the heavens, the star kingdom, the galactic federation. It's a much more interesting story. But yeah, I don't know. D-Bake, what do you think? Do you think some of these UFOs are sort of waiting for us to get out of the monkey mayhem stage, or what's going on there? I don't know if you have some comments, or if your quote relates to this, then hit us with that.
1000%. You're me and your soul brothers, so we're always vibrating at the same frequency, as the crystal people like to say it. Shout out to my new age starseeds. Um, think about the same thing, same soul, different bodies. Huh. The quote I found does pertain to the situation, but I liked what you were vibing with right there, just kind of giving a basic understanding, a basic conceptual framework, a basic lens in which to peer at these events through. The same message that we're talking about on the channel constantly, that we're part of a galactic federation, a cosmic organization, a universal government. Like Taychilla said, kingdom of heaven is the universal government. Back in the day, they didn't have the term universe, they said heavens. Back in the day, they didn't have the term government, they said kingdoms. So when Jesus was talking about the kingdom of heaven, he was referring to the universal government, the galactic federation. Wake up. If you're Christian, I hope this rings a bell. I hope this touches a nerve, so that you start waking up and realize that you are a cosmic citizen, and that's what Jesus came here to teach you. That's what he came to teach you. It's not about the religion about Jesus. It's about trying to figure out the religion of Jesus, what Jesus believed in himself. So look at the words he's talking about. This is the same shit we talk about. Apparently, relating it all back to this New Jersey drone situation and these mysterious crafts that are appearing in the LA wildfires, and also these crafts that appear over the tsunami that Taychilla just brought up. Shout out to Captain Kirk for giving us that video drop. I appreciate that. If you got any cool videos in the comments, make sure you drop it so we can go over it. Join the Discord too if you want to be part of the conversation. I want to read a quote from the Ranch book talking about something relating to the subject, I would believe. It says, this is from paper 48, The Mirage to Life. 48.310. From the fifth epochal revelations in cosmic philosophy right here. If you're not hip with the Urantia book, you fucking up, dog. I'm serious. Read that shit. This is some philosophy that was brought to us by the interdimensionals, by the celestial beings that you crave to know about. The like I just said, there is a difference between talking about Jesus or knowing what Jesus himself believed in. The mental concepts and constructs that were in his mind, how he looked at reality, those are accessible to us. I shit you not. and it has to do with the extraterrestrial situation. Disclosure. So, from the Ranch book, if you ain't fucking hip to it, go check it out. Paper 48. Host to celestial visitors. These gracious creatures are dedicated to the entertainment of the superhuman groups of student visitors and other celestials who may chance to sojourn on the transition worlds. You will have ample opportunity to visit within any realm you have experientially attained. Student visitors are allowed on all inhabited planets, even those in isolation. Even those in isolation. If you're not familiar with the Ranch book, then pretty much a lot of stuff happened back in the day. Let's put it like 200,000 years ago. The leader of our sector of the universe was going crazy. He rebelled. His name was Lucifer. You might have heard of him. So that put our planet in quarantine. Unfortunately, it kind of shut off the celestial circuits. On a normal planet, this doesn't happen. On a normal planet, they're used to celestial beings landing on their planet. They're used to interdimensionals. They're used to spiritual beings interacting with them. That's just whatever. You wake up, it's a normal day. No big deal. It's only on our planet that we think this is crazy. Oh my God, look at the fucking things in the sky. Because we have been quarantined. We have been cut off from the circuits because of the Lucifer rebellion. But this passage says that student visitors are allowed on every planet, even those in isolation, even those in quarantine like ours. So, are these crafts student visitors? What are they? What kind of beings are they? Because they're obviously something. They're moving intelligently around. So, and apparently they started showing up a lot after we set off the nuke, our first nuclear tests. So, they've been around for a while. What are they? That's my thoughts on the subject at the moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that quote about the basically the progress of civilization, morality growing, the spiritual consciousness growing with the material mastery, of energy and force and explosions and big bombs. Um, but I kind of forget the search terms. Do you remember that quote and what it might be?
What you said? Say it one
So
more time.
there's a quote that says, spiritual consciousness and morality should develop equally alongside materialism so that we don't, just kill each other with advanced weapons, basically.
Yeah, I would search creativity and destructivity.
Creativity and destructivity. Okay, yeah, this one, it might even be a good opportunity to maybe talk about some of the problems of war, because this does actually really explain this problem of advanced technology from back engineered UFOs. If we have
Yep.
anti-gravity tech that can be weaponized, like, can we have it in the public? Um, and that's an annoying thought, isn't it? It's like we can't have UFOs in interstellar travel because a certain portion of humanity would weaponize it and, like,
Yep.
I don't know, steal your kids with their UFOs, some crazy stuff.
The
It's like
bullies always ruin it.
they'll kidnap people with UFOs or something, or they'll transport drugs with UFOs. Where it's those are basic examples, but yeah, it's like, why does that occur? Because if we can fix that at a very cultural and individual level, um, then maybe the next generation, maybe our kids can actually disclose about aliens and UFO technology. Because when
Amen.
they're in the government, if that generation no longer has this, like, sort of fear of wanting to war with each other, imagine they grow up in international programs that create goodwill between the different nations. They grew up they spent 6 months in Russia, with the Russian kids, and they got to grow up and experience. They spent 6 months in um, on non-European continents, went to China, went to Africa, exchange programs. Those like definitely change your mind about what it's like to like just be in another country. And yeah, I went on an exchange program to Germany once, and that's what it taught me. We got paired up with
Yeah,
uh
gut.
we got paired up with like other high school kids, and their families. Actually, we actually stayed with them. um yeah, I mean, I actually think that I have a book that where this guy claims that a UFO took like 500 humans on a 6 month vacation to not a vacation.
Damn.
It was basically an
Sign
exchange
me the fuck
program.
up, dog. Where are
Right.
these programs at?
Where are these programs at? This is in like 2000 ish. Um,
I'm trying to ride that Palladian fucking bandwagon, dog.
yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, that's a separate thing. So I'll try to get back on
That
topic, but we
that
do have
Arcturian drop top.
um, yeah. Um, okay. So Soul Spot, Celestial Shaman, welcome to the chat. I've seen you commenting here.
What's up? You want to read
Yeah,
that quote or what?
yeah, I'll read the quote. I just want to say to Celestial Shaman, since he's got Celestial in the name, you might not have heard about the Urantia book because that's what UB is referencing. That's the abbreviation. The Urantia book. So here's what the word Urantia is. Urantia is
And Nevi goes with the
apparently.
liver and Bugatti. Shout out Nevi, that's my brother right there.
What's up, Nebby? So Urantia is a word for earth. And obviously it's got that root word like the ancient city of and it also kind of sounds like
Mm-hmm.
earth. So,
Mm-hmm.
take that as an abstract and see, oh, Urantia. Oh, okay. Soul Spa says, you have read it, but you haven't read enough. Yeah, it's a big ass book. So since you haven't read enough, let me read this quote because we're going to learn something about why war occurs and why war is stopping us from going to space in our extraterrestrial reverse engineered technologies. So this is why.
Yes, sir.
Actually, yeah. Let me pull this.
I think
I
everybody
got
could
this
get a
quote
little
up.
bit of the Urantia book, man. Come on now. It's like elementary school shit. It's funny. We think this is so revelatory. We're like, oh, damn, this shit fire. And then you say this shit to an alien from a different planet. He's going to be like, what the fuck? We learned this shit in elementary. Yeah, we know all this. What you think is so sick is we learned when we were 6.
Now, I don't know. Spoiler alert. I actually think that some planets do not have so material 3D planets. I don't think all of them, even if they are interstellar, have even this direct of a hierarchy explanation of the afterlife worlds and the angelic beings.
No, I think that they
Um,
have Adam and Eve's and,
yeah,
all
but
that shit.
yeah, but think. Uh, so they
But
had
the
an
staff
Adam,
didn't rebel.
they had an Adam and Eve like 200,000 years ago. And so that was so ingrained in their culture, but it like I don't know if they get the biological uplift and then it kind of slowly fades, the celestial knowledge kind of fades. Like I don't know if they keep because if the humans don't have direct experience of the celestial knowledge, the only way that that would live on is if there's like a direct experience or like a revelation. Like you see what I mean? Like 50,000 years later, like after the Adam and Eve have done the mission and they're no longer physically there teaching about those
No, they
worlds,
never
giving that
leave, supposedly. Like the
okay.
planetary, when Caligastia, on a normal planet, Caligastia staff lands and never leaves. Then Adam and Eve land and they become the same part of the staff. So now you have the planetary prince staff and Adam and Eve. And then a paradise sun lands and they all are still there. Like all 3 of them are still there administering government on a normal planet. Like forever.
Hmm.
So they're little babies. They wake up every day in the news. They're like, yeah, we know. We get it. We're part of the celestial government. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird because I've read about a couple of the books that I've read. It seems like
Could be
they
rebel
they have
planets.
they
Could
have a
be rebel planets.
concept. It could be. They have a concept, but it's not like it doesn't seem. I don't know. It seems unique, but maybe it's
Or maybe
different.
not rebel planets, but planets caught up in the rebellion like us, you know? Because you can call us a rebel planet, but, you know.
Yeah. All right, so here is the origin of war. So this is the problem. If free will man is endowed with powers of creativity in the inner man, then must we recognize that free will creativity embraces the potential of free will destructivity. And when creativity is turned to destructivity, you are face to face with the devastation of evil and sin, oppression, war, and destruction. Evil is a partiality of creativity which tends toward disintegration and eventual destruction. All conflict is evil in that it inhibits the creative function of the inner life. It is a species of civil war in the personality. Ooh,
Right. That's
yeah.
what I always tell people when people talk about like good and evil are equal. You know, like destruction, creation are the same. And I go, no, actually, if you actually took a second to think about it, you would realize that destructivity is a subset of creativity. Creativity is supreme, but because it's supreme, you can use creativity to create things that are destructive. And that's when destructivity appears. So destructivity and creativity aren't on the same wavelength. Creativity is a way higher frequency. Destructivity is a subset of that. So it's almost like, you know, God, devil, Lucifer, that's all a subset of God. Like they're not on equal terms. Um, and that the keys of Enoch goes so far as to say that science has it wrong about centropy and entropy. That entropy is a subset of centropy. Because current science thinks that centropy and entropy are equal. Some people would even say that entropy is more because things go into a state of decay over time. But the keys of Enoch states otherwise, is that entropy is a subset of centropy, just like destructivity is a subset of creativity. They're not equal. But the illusion happens when you're deep down into the dark levels of the cosmos, where the light acts as dense material. Um, I do. I don't know. I love that concept. I'm glad we're able to talk about it. I do want to bring it back a little bit, though. I do want to go up one or two or three paragraphs from what you're talking about, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
same quote that
I
you're
got a
talking
little
about.
more to say about the whole thing, but we can.
Fucking hit it. No, no, you hit it before you go on. Yeah, we can
Um,
hit it.
so yeah, this is sort of pointing out that war and destructivity is basically a subset, inevitability of free will or a possibility. It calls it a partiality of creativity.
Yeah,
So you see that people normally pit good and evil as like a 50-50, you know, one versus the other, and that evil is like this battle against the good. But really, evil is a small partiality of creativity, which you know comes from free will.
amen.
The ability to sort of do, you know, have a free range of movement to kind of think thoughts that may not have existed before. And the thing about that is that we can both think things that are sort of in accordance with the principles of life and creation, but we can also think things that are, I guess you could say, not really. They don't really tap into true concepts that exist, and that's sort of that's what we call evil. And so by dabbling in the concepts that don't come from, you know, the first consciousness, that they don't really vibrate with in harmony with the source of the universe. It creates destruction, you know, in our sort of little realm here. It doesn't create destruction on any cosmic, like on a cosmic scale. You know, there's not like a real risk of, you know, evil
Yeah,
necessarily
but it
overrunning the
distorts.
cosmos. Um, so, but yeah, you know, it's always there with free will, and we just happen to, you know, the reason why people think this is a prison planet is because we just happen to be in a specific sector of the universe, where the governors use their free will, uh, in what they thought was sort of taking hold of liberty and sort of taking control and establishing their own, principles for how to run this sector. But it slowly disintegrated over time into now the humans here have zero concept of our place in the universe, our ancient origins, these celestials that influenced humanity and changed our genetics. We've forgotten all that because the governors of the system, they didn't pass that down. They kind of, you could say they failed us because their role was to assist us. But instead, check out the Book of Enoch. I'm not saying everything in that is exactly true. We got a better story of it in this book, but in the Book of Enoch, this ancient Hebrew text, Enoch says that these celestial beings, the sons of God, the Benai Elohim, he names them, and he says that one of them taught them war, the art of war. So think about that. The art of war was even originally taught, like how to do mass destruction by non-human celestial beings who just like they got so jaded about, I guess, the mission here. And that's like that conception even lives, in old ancient texts like the Bible and the Book of Enoch. There's even an idea that that the Nephilim, genetic race, next to humanity that was sort of dominating on humanity. In the biblical story, they try and pit that. They're like, look, that got so bad that God actually flooded the earth to kill off the Nephilim and just leave Noah alive. That's sort of the story that's explained in there. So get that. The Bible is saying there was like a non-human subspecies of giants that was influenced by the sons of God, which we know they're not really angels. They were actually a sort of incarnated celestial being that had bodies and DNA systems that could actually mate with the human species. Some people tie this in with the Anunnaki story. It's a similar idea. We're not 100% sure on all the time overlaps on these events, but obviously the stories sound super similar. And so, yeah, apparently some of those Anunnaki, apparently some of those Nephilim, they taught the other nations, maybe that they were ruling over, how to war with each other, how to make weapons. So isn't that insane, But now we have taken on that mantle ourselves. Now humanity, well, check it out. Humanity's still taking interstellar ideas and weapons and technology and turning them into mass weapons. That's what we're doing with the reverse engineering programs. So that's how I
Sure.
swung this all the way back to UFOs here.
He's good.
So yeah, that's my rant there. You can definitely bring us back here, and maybe we have some more
I
context
like it.
here.
I do like it. I do like it. I like how you're equating the fact that the Caligastia Rebellion, aka Celestials who are incarnate on planet Earth, the people who taught the Sumerians, these are billion-year-old beings, way older than humans, and they waged war on humans. They fought. Can you imagine that? Just a local human tribe trying to fight a billion-year-old angel? It would not be a fair fight, you know? Now equating that to modern technology, celestial technology, you being equipped and used in battle, such as what the reverse engineering programs are today, the ARVs, the alien reproduction vehicles. Um, Shout out to Bob Lazar for breaking this story. The most, it's funny because it is the most prolific event to ever happen in human history, but it's a normal thing in the cosmos, and there's beauty in that somewhere. I see the beauty in it, but it also leaves us in a depraved state. So we have to put pressure. We have to. I know it sounds crazy, but send messages to your congressional representative for your state, and we have to push for disclosure. We have to push for getting the files out because we're the people, we pay for these motherfuckers. If they don't want to disclose the UFO tech, we should just stop paying taxes. That should be our fucking deal right there. and then handshake the government. What the fuck? What's up? If you agree with that, leave a comment. If you don't, leave a comment. Also, I mean, this is probably the same subscribers, but or same people tuned in as the beginning. But again, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support the cause, if you like what we're talking about, you can support the cause if you wear clothing. I don't know if you're a nudist. I don't know if you don't believe in clothing. That's fine too. But if you're not, if you like clothes, if you wear clothes, we got some clothes. You can rep us and you can help us. For $30, we got shirts. We got Legacy FHP shirts. You can rock that shit. They look pretty sick. It costs us $21 to make them. We only make $9 profit. Not much at all. Total 361. You get some swag. You get to support a sick cause, and it helps us keep getting the message out there. We're trying to do a lot of things behind the scenes. We got an app coming out soon. We got an entire mind, body, spirit program coming out soon to help you become the best you can be. So with your contributions, you will help make that a planet-wide legacy. You can be part of the legacy today. Hit us up, join the Discord. All the socials are in the description. Enough of that. Let's talk about the UFOs. We got some sick UFO shirts too, though.
Yeah, and I'm actually showing some of the shirts here right now. I should have pulled it up a little earlier when talking about, but look at these sick designs. We got the Legacy green lettering with the yellow, nice font.
Hell yeah.
Legacy logo on the back. Repping the Trinity.
They come in pink for the girls. If you want to buy one for your lady, If you want the TR3B edition, we got TR3B shirts, all that shit. Check it out.
Yep. Link in the description.
Yeah, man. You get some swag. You help us out. Like I said, we're trying to take over the planet. Same as you. With you guys, we can take this shit over. It's no more mainstream media. It's no longer. In the beginning of television, there was only 3 channels. ABC, NBC, and CNBC, something like that. See, whatever the fuck, those 3. And the 4th channel is Fox News. There was only literally 4 channels that people got their information from. You can see how that could easily have been, bought out, distorted, and used as propaganda outlets, so that every part of the information that you got was distorted and agenda driven. Now we live in a day and age where we don't have to rely on that. We can do independent media, what we're doing right now. So if you want to get away from that social oligarchy, technocracy, CIA-owned media companies, then you need to show love towards the outlets that you believe are telling the truth independently. So we hope that we qualify as one of these institutions in your mind. So what I'm trying to say is we got shirts and you help us out. We love you guys.
That is the altar call. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
All right, you want to read through some more of these quotes here on the inner life section?
Yeah. So like if you go a couple paragraphs up, it says happiness and joy take origin in the inner life. You cannot experience real joy all by yourself. A solitary life is fatal to happiness. Even families and nations will enjoy life more if they share it with others. Planetary brotherhood right there. You cannot completely control the external world environment. It is the creativity of the inner world that is most subject to your direction, because there your personality is so largely liberated from the fetters of the laws of antecedent causation. There is associated with personality a limited sovereignty of will. That's beautiful right there. On the inner life, you're liberated from the fetters of antecedent causation. That means the physical reality. antecedent causation, when something, the law of cause and effect, when something happens, reaction, reaction, reaction. Those are laws of the physical reality. But in the internal reality, you can think what you want, man. No one can control your thoughts unless you're weak. So I love how that's put it. There's a limited sovereignty of free will. Since this inner life of man is truly creative, there rests upon each person the responsibility of choosing as to whether this creativity shall be spontaneous and wholly haphazard, or controlled, directed, and constructive. How can a creative imagination produce worthy children when the stage whereon it functions is already preoccupied by prejudice, hate, fears, resentment, revenge, and bigotries? You gotta have a clean mind in order to be a dope ass human, dog. Ideas may take origin in the stimuli of the outer world, but ideals are born only in the creative realms of the inner world. Today, the nations of the world are directed by men who have a superabundance of ideas, but they are poverty stricken in ideals. That is the explanation of poverty, divorce, war, and racial hatreds. There you have it, folks. So that's from the fifth epochal revelation. Some would say from the celestials' mouths themselves. It's just going on, pretty much talking about that you have an internal spiritual creative life, and then there's an external physical reality. You have the ability to contribute to the landscape, or you have the ability to take away, hurt others, deprive others, and stunt others with your personality. Your creativity can turn into destructivity. If your intelligence and physical means of growth grows past your spiritual means of growth, it becomes imbalanced, and you start becoming a bad person because you're now focusing on the physical reality and trying to get one up on others. You become destructive. Your personality starts to take away from the progression of the species due to egotistic values. We have a lot of this on our planet. I don't have to educate you guys in it. But are you willing to step up and prevent yourself from contributing to more of that? You know, that's what we try to talk about on this planet. On this channel, on this podcast. We're trying to get you and your personality to become a beacon of light in the darkness on Earth. So if what we're saying is resonating with you, hit that subscribe button, dog.
Right on.
What you got?
Yeah, I'm curious actually if I look up the word technology.
Well, I got something
Let's see.
else.
Technology. They don't actually use the word technology.
So I'm on paper. 110 relations of adjusters to individual mortals. I don't know if you're gonna pull up for the people.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah, one that won the development.
What's the paragraph?
110.64. So
I got it.
Before I talk about this, I want to kind of shed some light, paint a picture in your mind on a concept that this fifth epochal revelation talks about, this celestial philosophy talks about, that it always constantly bangs into your head. It's the concept of the thought adjuster. You can picture it as, what's a thought adjuster? That sounds crazy. What the fuck does that mean? It's a thing that adjusts your thoughts. But you can picture it as a ball of light in your head, a spark of divinity that resides within you. And it always tells you to do the right thing. It always tells you to do the best thing that you could possibly conceive. This thing will lead you back to the Father, the universal Father, the creator of everything. That will lead you back to it. And it talks to you in mental pictures. It's a thought adjuster. It adjusts your thoughts. but it can only work with the thoughts that you have. So if you're dumb and you don't have very many thoughts, guess what? It ain't got much to work with. So it's struggling. It's struggling trying to get you to there. So don't let it struggle. Don't let it struggle, dog. If you learn more, if you read more, if you study more, you give the adjuster, the divine spark, more to work with. Okay. So the more you experience, the more you learn, the more the divine spark can attune you to the source of the cosmos. Okay. I hope I was able to paint that picture in your guys' mind. You guys know. I didn't have to say it. You saw it. You're like, oh yeah, duh, I know what he's talking about. Duh. I didn't have to tell you. I just reminded you. You guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's deep in there.
Or if you want to simplify it, it's your Morpheus. It's the Morpheus in your locked in your mind. It's got the sunglasses on, and every decision that you make, every moral decision, every spiritual decision, even decisions that are just about your welfare. It's like but it's mostly working on the spiritual, about your spiritual consciousness evolution. Red pill, blue pill. What are you gonna take? Are you listening? Are you listening for the concepts that are being offered to you, or do you prefer to sort of use your free will to invent everything up on the spot and just react, with a fear-based reaction, with guilt, with ego, with being offended by people making comments at you, or are you going to individualize yourself to the highest degree by not following other humans and looking up to them as like the peak of spirituality? Are you going to take responsibility for that journey for yourself? Are you going to search for truth, beyond anything else? And that's what this divine spark in you is for. Even our minds, I describe it as part of a network where the cosmic mind is omnipresent. You call it the mind of God. And our minds are inexplicably tied to this mind of God, but they're separated by these degrees of relative subjectivity, as in we are subjective minds with free will, but we exist on the cosmic mind network. Thank you, Jonesy Truth, in the chat, talking about the Kabbalion.
Kabbalion's fire, dog.
That's fire. We're gonna read that on the Forbidden Scrolls. Remind us if we don't get to it. The Kabbalion, has this phrase. I think it's like the mind is all is the mind. Yeah. It's got a lot of fire quotes. It's basically like if you want to try and understand an idea about, so to perceive God, the best way is to perceive God as this sort of omnipresent mind. Because the mind doesn't really have a boundary. It's really not bound to your brain or your head, and your thoughts don't necessarily have a sense of boundary either. When you're thinking, you can go from like monologuing to in one language. You can switch to another language. You can switch to visual imaginations. You can switch to abstract concepts. Right? Thoughts don't have this boundary. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's this whole like non-spatial holographic thing going on, and you think it's in your head, but no, it's not in your head. It's like happening on the whole cosmic mind network. Now, like I said, the difference that really segments us and keeps us in the matrix is that we're given free will, and we're also given individual personality, which means that we don't automatically know objective truth, right from the start. We're sort of, slate zero, and then we're put at the bottom of the universe in the time-space realms. And, we grow up from there. So, knowing nothing, but we have the potential to know cosmic true reality because we are part of that network. We can't not be part of that network. It's only by our own free will that we are not a part of that network. So we have to use our free will to get back on the network, as in we need to understand the source code of our mind. What was our mind originally intended for when it was given to us? That cosmic individual portion, that self-awareness, that I think therefore I am. What was that given to us for? And if we discover the original purpose, we will then be in a harmony of the song that the universe is actually singing. And the universe is not just from the purely materialistic sense. You would think the universe is singing a song of survival of the fittest, evolution, chaos and destruction, just entropy, build matter, destruct matter, cycles. But the sort of invisible source code behind that is actually this immortality key, of the origin of consciousness, the origin of mind, which creates the illusion of different energy levels, and separation of matter. We even have the phrase mind over matter because, I mean, I guess I don't know where that came from, but it's at least a sci-fi concept. Mind trumps matter. You could literally do magical things if your mind.
Antiquities in the Phoenician 600s BC.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm preaching to the choir here, but yeah, all that's available to us, and definitely read the Kabbalion because it helps you understand how God is mind, and how that relates to your mind. So go ahead, D-Bake.
Hell yeah. So 11064. What you said before, I mean, it stimulated that one quote with the destructivity, but you also said like if one part of the mind, body, spirit triad progresses faster than the other parts, they could be detrimental. And we're not only talking about the individual, we're talking on a social scale, because society is made up of individuals. And an individual is a mind, body, spirit in conjunction. And when that mind, body, spirit is together, a personality gets created. That's why we're different from animals. We have personalities. And a personality allows you to contact that divine spark, the thought adjuster. Animals don't have access to the thought adjuster. Only personalities do, like us. We have the ability to recognize God. Animals don't. Let's put it frankly like that. So the thought adjuster concept is that the thought adjuster or the divine spark is God within us. So we're talking about what happens if the mind, body, spirit, if one of the parts, because every part needs to grow holistically and developed at the same rate. If one part only gets focused on, you start developing a distortion. If you only focus on fitness, and don't read books and don't study and don't do any spiritual thought or meditation, you're only focused in that part of the triad and you're distorted. If you say, forget working out, I'm against working out, I'm only going to meditate, you're only focused on the spiritual triad, you're again distorted. If you say, fuck spiritual shit, that's fake, fuck working out, that's fake, I'm just going to be in my mind, do crypto or, only computer coding and software shit, and totally negate the spiritual aspect of life, you're also distorted. So you can see how every person on planet Earth is a mixture of one leaning towards one of these three parts of the mind, body, spirit. Now, since we know that society is made of individuals, and if individuals are all on different mind, body, spirit levels, you can kind of mass all of the personalities in total and get an average. So the average mind, body, spirit levels of society, that dictates what, I guess, spiritual dimension the planet exists on. So there could be serious ramifications if all three parts of the triad aren't functioning harmoniously on an entire social level. And I want to read some quotes that talk about this. One, the development of the intellectual nature proceeds faster than that of the spiritual. Such a situation renders communication with a thought adjuster both difficult and dangerous. Likewise, over spiritual development tends to produce a fanatical and perverted interpretation of the spirit leadings of the divine indweller. Lack of spiritual capacity makes it very difficult to transmit to such a material intellect the spiritual truths resident in the higher superconsciousness. It is to the mind of perfect poise, housed in a body of clean habits, stabilized neural energies, and balanced chemical function. When the physical, mental, and spiritual powers are in triune harmony of development, that a maximum of light and truth can be imparted with a minimum of temporal danger or risk to the real welfare of such a being. By such a balanced growth, does man and woman ascend the circles of planetary progression one by one from seventh to the first. Um, what you said earlier, you talking about like overdevelopment in one of the parts that quote got stimulated in my mind. So wanted to throw that out to the people. Wanted to get their thoughts. So basically, be the best you can be mentally, physically, and spiritually. And you will ultimately help the entire species, the overall average of the humans on planet, the mind body spirit level go up. And when that happens, we can finally meet the aliens, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. And actually, I'm pulling up the Kabbalion here because might be a good time to, I don't know, dive into some of those concepts. It's since we're talking about it in the chat, we're recommending the book. Should we just look at it right now?
We'll do an episode, yeah. Let's do it. Yeah, fucking shoot it. Fucking let's do it.
All right, I'm just gonna try and pull some quotes here. Actually have a bunch of highlights because I read this on Kindle. I'm not faking you guys. I'm a real one.
He didn't read it. He's using Chat GPT.
Yeah.
I read the Kabbalion like fucking 3, 4, 5 times, dude. I found the Kabbalion before I found the Urantia book and the Keys of Enoch.
Yeah, right. Honestly, you could call it essential reading prep before the Urantia book, as in
Yeah.
it's hard to understand kind of like why the Urantia book is so top notch unless you've read all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Good
when it
point.
strings it together, and you see that it really builds on a lot of these other concepts, that and actually the Kabbalion, I think that it was originally written around actually a similar time as the Urantia book. So there was a lot of like spiritual knowledge, I guess, coming through. But I don't know. Let me see.
Is it that modern? Oh.
Well, William Walker Atkinson is sort of
Oh, it was written
attributed.
by that fool?
Um, that's what this book presents.
Yeah.
Seems seems plausible. It's funny. I even saw someone on the internet speculate that William Walker Atkinson was maybe the sleeping subject for the
Sleeping
Urantia
Survivor.
book.
Yeah.
I
They're
don't I
sleeping
don't think
subjects,
that
right?
is the case. But
Yeah.
I do think I think that Walker was doing definitely some like channeling or something that brought through some of
Okay.
these books.
Interessante.
I think that's part of why the Kabbalion was attributed to the three initiates, and he didn't put his name on it because his name is on other books, his own like philosophy and stuff.
That's attributed to. Oh wow. So is the Emerald Tablets of Thoth.
They call it the three
It's attributed to the
initiates.
3 initiates. Yeah.
Oh, are you sure that in the Emerald tablets, that I guess in the tablet translation they say that as well? That may be why Walker would use that term. It's probably from another thing, the three initiates. Um, so yeah, I mean, this is just the starting of chapter 5, it looks like. So it starts out in this chapter. The universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. D-Bake, I can share my screen for you so you can follow
Yeah,
along.
I'm over here. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm trying
Yeah.
to Google this shit.
Kabbalion free download. It's Saturday, Friday night. You're reading the Kabbalion on YouTube with us.
Yeah, dude, you better not be out clubbing. You better be fucking studying with us, dog.
Okay, so the universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. And also, sorry for any viewers who popped in here for UFOs and California wildfires. We covered that, 40 minutes ago. So just rewind the stream, get up to speed. We're taking our tangents now. We already covered the news. Now it's just recess. So the universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. The all is spirit, but what is spirit? This question cannot be answered for the reason that its definition is practically that of the all, which cannot be explained or defined. Spirit is simply a name that men gave to the highest conception of infinite living mind. It means the real essence. It means living mind, as much superior to life and mind as we know them, as the latter are superior to mechanical energy and matter. Spirit transcends our understanding, and we use the term merely that we may think or speak of the all. For the purposes of thought and understanding, we are justified in thinking of spirit as infinite living mind. Let's see. At the same time, acknowledging that we cannot fully understand it. We must either do this or stop thinking of the matter at all. Right? So these terms are sort of open-ended,
Sounds
abstract.
Urantia-y.
Oh,
Sounds-
100%. When I read this, I was half wondering, was he channeling the Midwayers?
Yeah, something.
Just because
Something.
it's concise, and it
Infinite living mind. Talking about mechanical as opposed to spiritual,
yeah.
these precursor thought forms to the UB.
Yeah, right. And so, yeah, this book talks all about the universe and the all and the living mind that is actually the basis of the universe. So definitely check this out. I'm just scrolling through to see what kind of other quotes there are. Oh, actually, we could talk about possibilities of the origin of this book because it's attributed to both the let me search.
R.C. Smith says it sounds a lot like the 7 adjutant mind spirits.
Okay, so check this out. This book it's both attributed to the 3 initiates, but it's also talking about this character Hermes Trismegistus, the scribe of the gods. Okay. So
The guy who wrote the Emerald Tablets.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
yeah, Hermes Trismegistus. Trismegistus means thrice great. 3 times great. So I think it means like he's 3 times great, mind great, body great, and spirit great.
Oh, but what about Drunvelo talks about, what was that guy's name they met? Thoth?
Yep.
I guess that's
Thoth
another
is
name.
Hermes.
Okay, same character, maybe.
Yep, according to Drunvelo, yeah.
Okay, so this says, sorry, my the way the screen is set up is not totally optimal, but here we go. There's no portion of the occult teachings possessed by the world which have been so closely guarded as the fragments of the Hermetic teachings which have come down to us over tens of centuries, which have elapsed since the lifetime of its great founder, Hermes Trismegistus, the scribe of the gods, who dwelt in old Egypt in the days when the present race of men was in its infancy. Contemporary with Abraham, and if the legends be true, an instructor of that venerable sage, Hermes was and is the great central sun of occultism, whose rays have served to illumine the countless teachings which have been promulgated since his time. All the fundamental and basic teachings embedded in the esoteric teachings of every race may be traced back to Hermes. Even the most ancient teachings of India undoubtedly have their roots in the original Hermetic teachings.
Dude,
what?
They have to be talking about Melchizedek.
Right? When they say contemporary with Abraham, and if the legends be true, an instructor of Abraham.
Yeah, right? Straight up, dude. Yeah. And remember the Melchizedek missionaries that sent the missionaries to start all the religions everywhere?
Oh my God, yeah, like that's what they're connecting here. They're like all the
Right.
esoteric wisdom throughout all the religions comes back to this source.
Yeah.
I
Checks the fuck out.
I do think that some things are ascribed, and the individuals don't always go exactly back. We're talking about like to me the character of Thoth from Drunvalo's book, and the author of the Emerald Tablets, the way that reads. I don't think the Emerald Tablets was written by Melchizedek, Macaventa Melchizedek. It actually seems more like, I mean, he describes his character in the book that he was a human, but he attained immortal life still in the physical body, and he used these esoteric techniques to actually rejuvenate his physical body, and he lived for thousands of years that way. That's in the Emerald Tablets. Now, that character um, obviously had teachers. So maybe they overlapped with the Melchizedek mission. But
Yeah.
what they're saying right here, that Hermetic teachings relating it to a teacher of Abraham who also influenced many of the other world religions, that's very obviously connected to Melchizedek. So
Yeah.
yeah, that one blew me away when I first read this.
Yeah, and like Thoth is also equated with what, like 12 other celestial beings who were on the planet to help build the pyramids. Um, Very interesting because the Melchizedek receivers, Hermes, you know, weak people conflate concepts all the time. Like in the Bible, they conflate Adam and Eve with Caligastia's staff, you know, just because they're both celestial beings. Over time, we know that Caligastia's staff, the Aryans, which is actually the Urians, Urians, the Urians, the first people. That's where we get the term Aryan from. That's the term Iran is really Adian, Aryan. That's Mesopotamia, where the first people were Caligastia and his staff. We know that they invaded northern India and started the Hindu religion. That Hindu, Sanskrit, and Indo-European language comes from that Sumerian, Aryan, Sumerian. Take away Sum, you get Aryan. You know, all of that comes from a certain language subset group. So we understand that the Bible can confuse two celestial groups, such as Adam and Eve and Caligastia, and amalgamate them into one composite entity. I'm sure they do this with Melchizedek and Caligastia too, such as the paragraph we just read. That in the Hindu, when Melchizedek landed, he was well aware of Caligastia and how he spread out, what languages were being spoke by what tribes, who held on to the most information that they derived from Caligastia and his staff, the Anunnaki. So when Melchizedek landed, he was obviously working with what he could because he was highly studied in what Caligastia and the staff left over. When he taught that to Abraham and the humans, I'm sure the humans are going to amalgamate that and conflate all of that together, which is, how we probably might get Hermes, the being of Hermes Trismegistus. It might just be an amalgamation.
Yeah, and I found another quote that's pretty interesting. I would have well, okay, here we go. I can't get this on the big
You're
screen.
bringing
It's
me
sort
back
of on
to
the
like high
side
school
here.
years.
But this says that the Hermeticists never sought to be martyrs, and have instead sat silently aside with a pitying smile on their closed lips, while the heathen raged noisily about them, in their customary amusement of putting to death and torture the honest but misguided enthusiasts who imagined that they could force upon a race of barbarians the truth capable of being understood only by the elect who had advanced along the path.
Wow, interesting quote.
So, sort of like, we're talking about how a lot of the advanced truth actually was sort of kept in this oral history of master to initiate. And that sounds kind of selfish, but I think the reason that this happened is that spiritual consciousness became so dead on this planet for many years that when we did have small flames pop up, you couldn't teach it to the masses because they weren't like interested. They wanted, like, I guess you could say even back then they wanted war. But there were some civilizations that, would pop up and have these spiritual traditions appear, but um, they would often, I guess, sometimes they would have to become these silent traditions, and that's what this quote is referencing. In my opinion, we are past that today. We no longer need. Uh, you don't have to. Your spiritual path does not. You don't have to go find like a guru or find someone to like teach you, because it's all available on the internet. So, but you do have to sift through, and that takes years, of stuff on the internet. And yeah, John Z says, when the student is ready, the master will present himself. So, yeah, I
Ooh,
mean, we found, me and Dedrick, we
like
found a lot of masters within these various texts, and that's what we present on the Forbidden Scrolls podcast. And then obviously the greatest master is the divine spark within you. But definitely, I'm not saying don't look up to human teachers. Obviously, we're teaching stuff that we think is valuable for other people. But like really take as much responsibility, for yourself as you can. But look, if you have multiple guidance taking you to a specific lineage to learn from, do it, check it out, see what you can get out of it, because these lineages, you know, as much as you have to sift through them, they do carry some ancient knowledge. And I follow that stuff as well. So
and it's really interesting to think that these beings who have interacted with us in ancient antiquity are the same beings that are flying spaceships around the California wildfires at the moment. It's interesting to try to wrap your head around that concept. To R.C. Smith, it is interesting that the Christians have picked up on the fact that Melchizedek and Jesus, they say they're the same being, which is interesting. Not all of them, but there's a big sect of theologians, but it's almost like they're picking up on the concept that they share the same thought adjuster. I don't even know how that got into the modern Zeitgeist. The ability for the angels to actually get truth in popular culture, especially through Christianity, Hindu, it's insane. Because we read the Urantia book, we're like, wow, this is crazy, and then we see all these other concepts in society, and we're like, wow, they didn't have the Urantia book, and still these concepts are getting injected into the minds of men somehow. It's it shows you how strong and how much influence angels really have. If they want something to be into the social zeitgeist, into the mind of popular culture, they can, for the most part, kind of get it in. So
yeah. Now this little intro to this book. Here's a little description of Hermes Trismegistus, and then yeah. So this says, it says that there's Jewish traditions that claim that Abraham acquired a portion of his mystic knowledge from Hermes himself. As the years rolled by after his passing from this plane of life, tradition recording that he lived 300 years in the flesh. So this is talking about Hermes. Do you remember how long Melchizedek was here?
he was here for 100
Oh, okay.
years.
100 years
And
incarnated.
the Urantia book also states that when we look at ancient texts, there's a distortion because we can, back in the day, they said months were years. That's why we get high counts. We're really talking about months, not years.
Oh, that does make a lot of sense to me because it's really a matter of calendar systems as well, and
Yeah,
like it's
that's what
how
they
you
said. Yep.
measure time, and just look at the way that the calendar systems change, like or they get established. Gregorian calendar is because we try to standardize how we measure and present time, but when we do that, when you look at an ancient text, they may not have had a leap year in their calendar. So when you calculate time periods, um, it's like everything gets shifted and compounded. So these dates can seem way out of whack.
Yep. That's why the Sumerian kings list people look at it and they're like, no one lived that long. And even the Egyptian pharaoh king list, like no one lived that long. And the farther you get back, the longer they lived. Um, they were measuring in months. And the closer you get to the celestial bloodline, they live longer. So what is it, like 12 months to 1 year? So if you're saying 100 years, that's really 10 years, you know?
Of course, different calendar systems all throughout the ages, when they were writing the scripts down, they had to make a decision on how to translate the number, etc. How do we do this year? They might not have known that there was a loss of information when that happened. But anyway,
Yep.
this
And I
let's see.
realized I said 10 years. I know it's 12 years, guys. I was just rounding it. Okay, don't get on my ass. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely
Just tell
more.
me who this motherfucker is, dude. Who the fuck is Hermes?
Yeah, who is Hermes Trismegistus? Um,
Because he is the ruler of Mercury, and I'm a Gemini, and Mercury rules Gemini. So I guess the Greek goddess or goddess god for me is Hermes. So I identify with Hermes. So tell me who this motherfucker is.
yeah. Well, we hope people in the chat can find that answer if you have more evidence. But yeah, at the end of the day, obviously, I think Hermes Trismegistus definitely sources back to Melchizedek, but there's other stories that are sort of attributed to that, so it definitely gets muddled in the water there.
Yeah, Chris
And
Bledsoe is scratching upon the universe that we're talking about right now.
yeah, we
I'm replying to someone in the chat. Sorry.
yeah, I was just gonna cover that comment. Could these beings be presenting themselves? Makes me think about Chris Bledsoe and his experiences. That was John Z. Truth that commented that. And yeah, John Z. I read the UFO God book. D-Bake, we're gonna get him to read it as well. We think that,
Never
or
take me alive.
I think that the lady character that Chris Bledsoe meets is actually a sort of, may even be a personalization or a character representing the mother spirit of the universe, the third person of the Trinity. Sorry, my nose is crazy, kind of stuffed up.
Yeah, it's cool. I can kind of hear it, but if you want me to read it,
I don't. There's no other specific quotes that I need to read. I mean, I could keep going through here. But we're about an hour and 40 minutes into the stream, so I don't know. Do you
yeah,
have
we can
anything
wrap
else
it
you
up.
want to cover?
Um, not really, not really. Um, I was gonna go into space lasers, but we'll save that for Sunday. Because it's off. We're in the Melchizedek land right now. Um,
Yeah.
I do want to say some crazy shit. Hermes Thoth, he's supposedly in. I don't want to say in charge, but related to the concept of building the pyramids. You know, um, I don't want to qualify this statement. I don't want to explain all the backstory because it'd take fucking 30 years. So I'm just gonna drop it out there that celestial beings that landed, the Anunnaki, they had access to anti-gravitic technology, therefore, such as the midwayers, and therefore they could build pyramids. And maybe that's also why Thoth is incorporated into the whole pyramid builder concept in popular culture, if that makes sense.
I'm more akin to believe the law of one, that the Ra social memory complex actually created the pyramids, and the reason is that um, the Urantia book says that I think it was Amenhotep, um, like knew about the one God, the monotheistic God, and he taught this as the symbol of the sun. And so basically, the Ranger book shouts him out as being like a true knowledge keeper of the
Oh,
monotheistic
so
God.
you think he was the
Um,
one
so,
who Law of One people
well,
can
so
connect
in
with?
the Law of One, they say that they had contact with Amenhotep, and that they were actually teaching him, and he was learning from them, and they were working
Damn,
together.
son.
And so you make that link and you say, oh, the reason, one of the main reasons Amenhotep was so tapped in was that he was in contact with this celestial being Ra, who has been through some of, I imagine, some of those afterlife worlds. I think Ra says they're on the sixth density. And anyway, in the Law of One, Ra says, yeah, like we created the pyramids with thought, but we created them in a way that you wouldn't know that's what happened in the future. They said if they created it as one solid block of rock, then it would have been like too mysterious. So that sounds dumb when I say it. Like, what do they care if it's mysterious? It's still mysterious anyway. But it's like by making it into blocks, it looks like it could have been built naturally by laying the blocks. And so they explain that that was their way of not abridging too much of the free will of the future
Yeah,
peoples. So it sort of gives us an excuse in our mind to be like, oh,
checks
yeah, they
out.
dragged those blocks around and they made it. But Ra is saying, no, we created it with thought and we brought that like matter into being in that place. Um, Now, that's like maybe that's still a bit of a summary. Maybe they, some people theorize, oh, they use sound to levitate the blocks, um, or those blocks are actually a sort of like cement that they had an ancient rock technique where they could like build rocks with like a type of cementing. Um, a lot of great theories, but I always, I believe the law of one is a sincere and real celestial contact event, and it's one of the few that is high quality, that is on this planet and easily accessible. And if you want to know what's going on with aliens, you should know about the mind of aliens. And Ra is actually kind of like an elder brother civilization that grew up on Venus, is what they claim, during millions of years ago when Venus could support life. So shout out to the Law of One, shout out to the pyramids, shout out to Ra, shout out to Amenhotep, shout out to the capstone of the pyramid, which is gone. Shout out to Thoth's UFO underneath the Sphinx, as he says in the Emerald Tablets. I'm gonna ride that someday. It's gonna be me in that UFO.
Skirt, skirt. Cruising around the block. Cruising around the fucking block. I guess we'll wrap it up right now, but I do want to throw a little monkey wrench in your bullshit. Uh, Mezza Verde. These fools are killing it. They're getting some contacts. You saw what I posted it. I sent it to you. They said that Imhotep was actually the builder of the Saqqara pyramid, not the Giza pyramid, which historians attribute to the first the most oldest pyramid. And it's a step pyramid. It doesn't.
That
You can
doesn't
pull it up for the people.
that doesn't negate what the Law of One is saying, I think, right? Because Ra is saying he built the Giza pyramid, and Mesa Verde is saying Amenhotep built the Saqqara or something.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you're saying that. Okay, so you're not saying Imhotep built the
No,
Giza pyramid.
Imhotep was working with Ra, but Ra built the Giza pyramid.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I imagine Amenhotep built some
Amenhotep.
other
Yeah,
pyramids on
it's
his
just
own.
pronunciations. Yeah.
Oh, Captain Kirk is shooting us down. The pyramids were very doable. Whoever built them, it was like building a skyscraper.
Yeah. The UV perception checks out.
It,
Well,
anyway.
we'll dive into it later. A lot of controversies. Fuck.
Laws of the Sun.
Space
I haven't
lasers.
seen it, but I'm gonna look it up.
Which one? What is it?
Have you seen it? Laws of the Sun.
No, I have not. I've
It's an
seen
anime.
Tears of the Sun with Bruce Willis. That's fire. Navy SEALs are deployed behind enemy lines. Great movie. Go check it out. No, but seriously, guys, if you're new here, subscribe. We are always dropping news about the celestial information about the current events. Everybody who's probably watching is probably already subscribed right now. If you haven't already bought a t-shirt, not saying you need to buy a t-shirt, but it really helps us out. $30, we make $9 profit, and it really helps us. We're trying to do big things. We're trying to get an app launched that helps you track and develop your mind, body, spirit progress. And there are multipliers if you do it with other people. So I guess it's like the future of social media. We're trying to get there. So if you like what we're talking about and you want to support the cause, the link is in the description. Buy a shirt. Like I said, it costs us $21 to manufacture it. We charge $30. We're only making a $9 profit, so it really helps us out. We really want to help planet Earth. We want to take it over and build the kingdom of heaven. We want to bring the universal government down to planet Earth. So if you believe in it, believe in us. Help us out. We'll help you out, baby. You guys are producers by helping us out. If you guys contribute to the cause, you are officially a producer for the Legacy FHP, the Legacy Foundation for Human Progress. So remember, you're a cosmic citizen. I'm a cosmic citizen. I got some final thoughts, but Taychilla can take it away and then we'll end it after that.
Yeah. I feel like I, got all my pieces in, got my punches in. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. And we're gonna do another one this Sunday. Actually, I think we're gonna try and cover. Should we tell them? There's only 10 people here, so maybe we give them a preview. I think we're gonna be talking about Billy Carson, Wes Huff,
Ooh.
Joe Rogan.
Ooh. The hotness.
Who's into it? Who's been following that in the chat? Let us know. Are you interested in that, or is it gonna flop?
If you guys ain't heard of Billy Carson, you guys know who Billy Carson is. Come on. He's been talking about the Anunnaki. You guys probably saw our other videos. We talked about him a lot in the Anunnaki episodes. He reads the Enuma Elish, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Tablet of Ashar Hashish. These are all the OG Sumerian, Urian tablets that were, made by the Anunnaki, made by the Prince's Staff, the descendants of the Prince's Staff. Shows the creation story. The creation story is insanely step by step the same as the Urantia book, which is fucking wild. And it's written in stone from thousands of years ago. He's a beast. He was killing it. He went on the Joe Rogan show. Got a lot of clout, got a lot of fame. Billy Carson. Oh man, he's talking about the Anunnaki. Killing it. And unfortunately, he had a debate with the theologian, and he got caught misquoting the Bible, which
I don't even know if he was misquoting the Bible. He was just making claims about Christianity that are only popular.
We're gonna save this for
Sunday. We'll save it Sunday. Sorry, we're giving guys. We're starting into the episode right now.
yeah.
But no, okay. I do see 2 comments that two of the Captain Kirk and RC are following this. They know about this. I think Wes is a plant, says RC Smith. A plant from Hugh. Plant from Hugh.
Also.
No. I think Billy ain't read the UB.
I'm about to say, if he read the UB, that'd be crazy, dog. Because he
might have heard about it. I'm sure he's heard about it, but dude, it literally has the best Anunnaki story ever, and he's never talked about that from that perspective.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and I'm gonna say it for Sunday, but he said shit that I'm like, damn, nigga, if you would have read the UB, you wouldn't have said that shit.
And right. Yeah, so
save it for Sunday.
We'll save it for
Sunday.
I'll hold my comments. So
yeah, we love you guys. Keep it real. It's snowing like a motherfucker where I am. It's funny. It's actually not funny. This morning, I was driving behind someone to the gas station. I was only me and him, and he flipped his car right in front of me off the side of the road. And I had to run out of my car and help him get out of his car and call 911,
Was
make
he
sure everything was
freaked
okay.
or was he okay?
He was fine. He was totally fine. No injury whatsoever, but
But it
he was
flipped?
freaked. Yeah, it flipped upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On its side, um, into a snow bake, whatever.
Flipping
It
his
was
side.
gnarly, but everybody's cool. Why did I say that? Oh, just because be safe out there. Be safe out there. I'm in a snowstorm. Be safe out there. UFOs are real. UFOs are in the fires. Space lasers. Sunday, we're gonna hit you with that Billy Carson shit. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. And you can support the legacy by buying a shirt. We love you guys. Links are in the description.
Right. End in the stream. 3, 2, 1, bye.